Hello everyone, welcome back to the Real Deal kitchen. So on the menu I have caramelized pork chops. Caramelized pork chops. So pork chops with caramel sauce. So these are all the ingredients, all the seasonings that I'm going to use to season up these pork chops and let it marinate for 2 hours. A little bit of everything, all these seasonings. A little bit of salt, olive oil. This is the pork chops, the thin sliced pork chops. And this is a caramel sauce. So I'm going to show you how to make caramel pork chops. Okay? So let's go get this pork chop washed in some vinegar water. Okay, so I'm going to wash this pork chops. So this is for, let me see, 5 slices, 10 slices of pork chops. So let's start season this pork chops. So put a little bit of paprika, like 1 teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of paprika, oregano, a half a teaspoon, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. A little bit of ginger. You don't have to use ginger, but I like my stuff spicy, so I add a little bit of ginger, half a teaspoon of ginger. And the all-purpose seasoning. This is a Jamaican all-purpose seasoning. You get this from the Caribbean store or grocery store that sell Caribbean products. So 1 teaspoon. And Mrs. Dash, salt-free, 1 teaspoon. The Japanese, 7 Japanese spice. So you put a 1 teaspoon in there. Then Mrs. Dash, onion and herbs, salt-free, for the teaspoon. And a little bit of Mexican spice. Guys, you can use whatever seasoning you like. And just so you know, if you plan on making this pork chops, you always want to season your meat from overnight. But if you don't have the time to do that, after finish seasoning your meat, you want to make sure you let it sit for at least an hour or 2 hours. So this way the season soaked in. Okay? So you massage that seasoning into the pork chops. Massage it. And then I'm going to let it sit for 2 hours before I cook it. So now I'm going to show you how to fry these pork chops on the pot. So you turn the stove up on high, and we're going to fry the pork chops. The marinated pork chops have been marinated for like 2 hours. So I'm going to fry that a little bit, not too much. You just want to fry it a little bit. You don't want to fry it and let it dry. Okay, so we're going to fry it in like 2 teaspoons of oil, olive oil. So we're going to turn the stove down on medium. And so you're going to put them in there one at a time. And like I said, you don't want to over fry it because you don't want it to be dry. Because after we finish fry it, you're going to put the sauce on it, the caramel sauce, and then put it in the foil pan, on the foil pan, and put it in the oven. So you just want to fry it a little bit. Okay. So this is 10 slices of pork chops. We fried a little bit. Both sides for at least 5 minutes. Okay, so after frying all the pork chops, like I said, you fry it on medium. After frying all of it, you want to put everything back in the pot, all the pieces in there. Then you're going to cover this and just let it steam with no water for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Then we're going to take it out and put it back on this plate and apply the caramel sauce. And then I'm going to grease this pan a little bit and put it in this pan with the caramel sauce and then place it in the oven at 400 degrees and let it sit in the oven for 10 minutes. So I'll turn the stove down on the lowest while all the pork, after I finish frying all the pork chops, put everything back in the pot and then turn the stove down and low to let it steam for 10 minutes. You want to cook right through, but at the same time you don't want it to be dry. So the cover will add moisture to it. And put it in the oven after applying the caramel sauce. The old-fashioned caramel sauce, whatever caramel sauce you have. So I'm going to apply this caramel sauce on both sides of the pork chops. Then place it in the pan and put this in the oven. Let it sit in the oven for at least 10 minutes and 400 degrees. Okay, so these are some baked sweet potatoes. Woo! Baked sweet potatoes that I'm gonna have with my caramelized pork chops. I just took these out of the oven. So now I want to show you what the pork chops look like. So after finish steaming it on the stove, remember you fry everything at medium heat and then you cover it so this way it stays moist. Look at this, so nice and soft and moist it is. So you're going to take them out, put them in the plate. Look how juicy that pork chops is. Very juicy. So you put it in this plate to apply the caramel sauce. And you well season these pork chops. Let it marinate for 2 hours. You can do it from the night before. So now I'm going to grease this pan, this file pan. Okay. So look how lovely these pork chops look. Nice and juicy. It's not dry. So you can actually eat it just like this without the caramel sauce. This is how you make nice, juicy, soft pork chops. So I'm gonna grease the pan a little bit to prevent it from stick. Put like a 1/4 teaspoon of oil, less than a 1/4. You just need enough to grease it. And I don't have my thing to rub it, so you can use your fingers. Okay, it's clean. So you can apply the grease all over. Okay, so this way it doesn't stick when you put it in there. Okay, so if you have the brush, you can use the brush to apply the oil, but I don't have the brush, so I'm going to use my finger. Don't know where's my brush at, but anyway, so you grease the container. All right, and then what I'm going to do is apply gonna apply this caramel sauce. Apply this caramel sauce onto the pork chops. You can either brush it on, but I'm going to use a fork and apply the sauce onto the pork chops. This is what you call caramelized pork chops at the Real Deal Kitchen. You get to see how to cook up some creative dishes. So you apply it on both sides. For those people who love sweets, this is a nice little dish. And you want to apply it to the pork chops while it's hot. So this way it melts on. Okay. And then you're going to put it into the pan. Into the frying pan. Or your baking pan. So you lay it out into the pan. This pork chops is nice and tender. Very nice and juicy. I know a lot of people ask me, how you make your pork chops juicy? It's always dry when they make it. So I told them, you see, I put everything in the pan and I cover it and let it steam with the pot cover for at least 10 minutes. After frying it, you fry it on medium because you don't want to over fry it to make it dry. So you fry it on medium, and these are thin slices of pork chops, so they cook pretty quickly. And as you can see, because it's so hot, it is actually melting it fast. That's why you want to apply a lot, because when it melts, and you're gonna let this soak in there. Ooh. Okay, so now I cover the pork chops. I'm going to put it in the oven on the bottom shelf for at least 10 minutes and 400 degrees. Okay guys, so look at this dish. A sweet potato, carrots, and we're going to put the caramelized pork chops right on this plate. Woo! Look at this pork chops. Look what it looks like in this file container. Just took it out the oven. It is so delicious. Look at it. All the caramel sauce on it. Ooh, that pork chops look so good. Caramelized pork chops at the Real Deal Kitchen. Take a look, guys. Look at it. It's very delicious. Look at it. Nice and moist. Okay, so I'm going to put it on my plate and get ready to eat. So now I'm moving these pork chops from out the pan. Ooh, look how nice and soft it is. Right on the plate. Look how beautiful that dish looks. This is a nice, simple, exotic, creative dish. Very easy to make. Only at the Real Deal Kitchen you find these exotic creative dishes. Look at that pan. Look at the sauce. Look how moist this pork chops is. Nice and tender. Look at it. Okay. Okay, look at this pork chops on the plate at the Real Deal Kitchen. This is called caramelized pork chops with sweet potatoes and carrots. It's a nice, simple, tasty dish. At the Real Deal Kitchen, you get to find exotic, creative dishes. Dishes you never heard of before. So guys, try this pork chops at home. Let me know how you like it. And please leave and share any comments, like and share my channel. And also subscribe for more exotic dishes.